Alright, so this is the second video that I'm doing, and this is the tour of what I call my workshop here in central Connecticut. For some reason I have this thing about fallout shelter signs, so one of the things I did is I call it the fallout shelter. I'm reluctant to use that term too much though, because I found out that there's a video game called Fallout Shelter, and they actually have copyrighted the term Fallout Shelter. So anyway, this is my garage and workspace. It is a bit of a mess right now because I am currently just unboxing still and doing all the other stuff. So again, just kind of working around. I have this thing for ship's clocks. That clock actually, I got it at an antique store. It doesn't have any guts in it. I just put an electric mechanism behind it, and $10 clock. So it's pretty good. Isle of Man TT from 1962. It happens to be also the year I was born, just in case anybody's really interested. Getting up and older. I used to have a Vespa, which I like to ride. So again, you know, just some of the Harbor Freight air compressor and, you know, the various tools. I have to say this Slag portable bandsaw setup, greatest tool that I've ever purchased. Having a portable bandsaw like this and the ability to cut stuff is just absolutely amazing. Really made a huge difference to the garage. There's an old grinder that my father bought probably a couple years after I was born, so just can't seem to let it go. And then of course he also had purchased this belt sander, and I kind of inherited it when he had to move out of his garage space. Kind of some old stuff that I've collected over time. I got this license plate back from the UK. I found it in some deserted farm in Scotland, and so my grandfather told me I should hold on to it because it might be of some value, because it's the FS01 for whatever. And then the old Jeep hubcap came off of an old Wagoneer that I owned. And then I did actually have a Ford Bronco, a classic one. It was a 73, I believe. And then I had a BMW 2002, and the other symbol there is from a Porsche hubcap. That's from the 356 that I used to own. And then of course I have the TR6. So anyway, just kind of a collection of stuff. The workshop itself is about 24 by 30 something. Has very tall ceilings here, as you can see. So it was set up to put a lift in. I'm in the process. I've ordered one. I'm just waiting for it to arrive, and then I'll have to work on the installation. You know, I've got stuff. We moved here from Southern California, and so I still have to get some of the stuff out of here as part of the transition. But, you know, we're doing some gardening and everything, and then this is kind of where I lay out the parts. So this is a vent tube that needs to go onto the 911 that was behind me, and then there's a HomeLink device. So I have a 2005 Porsche, and it won't sync up with the garage door here. It'll sync up with the ones up at the main house. So again, a couple of Milwaukee toolboxes. Some of the stuff that you see here is for the TR6 project. So I just recently ordered a new valve cover and a new harness. So I'm going to eventually be going the coil on spark plugs, which is a little different than what I currently have on that system. And then of course got a chop saw. I actually got the chop saw for working 30 years for the company I've been with. So that was the anniversary gift for 30 years. So for 25 I got a knife set, so I guess that's pretty good. And then of course just lots of cleanup. You know, old payphone. I've had that since I was a teenager. There's a picture up there. I won't, I guess I could zoom in on it. What the heck. Well, not sure how this is going to work, but that's a picture of that brother is on the left side, and that's me on the right side back in, gosh, the early 70s when we got this thing. So anyway, And the guy who built this workshop, he was an engineer, so I always call this my steampunk setup. So the garage does have hydronic heating. I don't really use the slab heating per se as much, but I do use, there's a blower unit there, so you got the antifreeze. This system actually is using antifreeze versus water as the element. But yeah, I keep the garage at a minimum of 40 degrees if I'm not out here in the winter time. But anyway, that essentially is the shop. Some of the flags, each of those flags on the wall actually has some significance. The top flag at the very top is, I think they call it a jack. I got that when I was working as a Navy, for the Navy as an electrician. I forget what ship it came off of. It might have been the Kincaid, which was I forget what class it was. And then the other flag below that is a 48 star flag. I actually got that in Connecticut and then took it back to California for a while. And then of course now it has made its way back across the country. So pretty interesting. The flag below that is a signal flag, and that flag was actually off of a ship. I worked as a marine electrician and got launched on a ship, and that flag came from the ship that I was launched on. Don't ask me what the name of the ship was, because that seemed like an entire lifetime ago. And then of course the last flag up there is from the Isle of Man. I went out there last year with my brother and finally watched the time trial out there. So you can see some storage, the Milwaukee stuff. I am a Milwaukee fan, so you'll see a lot of that stuff in the garage here. I guess you can't have too many jacks. I think I have one too many now, but nonetheless, it's always good to have it. And then, of course, the actual sign that says Fallout Shelter Garage. Thought it was pretty cool. Old TR6 steering wheel, which is part of some of the modifications I'll talk about when we move on to the TR6. So again, thanks for your attention. Like, subscribe, whatever the case might be. Thanks again.